A Toronto psychiatrist has been asked by the courts to assess Alek Minassian and his criminal responsibility for killing 10 and injuring 16 others. Though today, the defense began questioning his experience assessing patients with autism at the Toronto van attack trial. On April 23, 2018, Minassian was arrested for one of the most horrific attacks in Canadian history. A year and a half later, Minassian sat down at CAMH for 4 days with Dr. Scott Woodside. The forensic psychiatrist is the Crown's key expert witness, and he's well known and respected by the courts, who've asked him to take part in multiple NCR assessments. Minassian and his legal team are arguing that the confessed killer should be found not criminally responsible because his autism has rendered him unable to understand that his actions were morally wrong. The defense began their cross-examination of Dr. Woodside today and were quick to point out that he's not an autism expert. In all his years as a psychiatrist, he's only assessed 2 people with autism symptoms similar to Minassian's. While the Crown did hire a separate psychologist from CAMH, Dr. Woodside admits that he didn't attempt to hire an autism expert to assist him, nor was he asked to hire one by the defense, Crown, or the court. Defense attorney Boris Batensky read out a section of the ethical guidelines for Canadian forensic psychiatrists to the virtual courtroom, which in part states that a doctor should recognize their limitations and, when indicated, recommend or seek additional opinions and services. Batensky then said to the doctor, "I'm going to suggest to you this provision required you to bring in someone with autism experience. Do you disagree?" Dr. Woodside replied, "I do." While the defense have argued that Minassian didn't understand the moral wrongfulness of his actions, Dr. Woodside believes Minassian is completely capable of knowing what he did was both wrong on an intellectual level and an emotional level. He's testified that this wasn't an impulsive decision. He wants to morally outrage people, going on to say he wants to become infamous. People have to see this as horrific. His infamy depends on it. The judge-only trial has already taken longer than Justice Anne Malloy had expected it to. The defense will continue their cross-examination of Dr. Scott Woodside tomorrow. I'm Adrian Ghobrial for City News.